The festive season is here, so here's a guide on making the best winter wonderland in Fortnite Creative and UEFN. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now, if you're a 1.0 player, skip this part, you don't need to watch this. So the first step is actually making our terrain, okay? How do we make a winter wonderland? So in UEFN, what we're going to do is we're going to make a landscape first, and this is going to be a landscape of our winter wonderland. So we can go up here in the landscape mode. You can also press Shift+2 to quickly go into landscape mode, and here we are. Now this is landscape mode. Now this is not a comprehensive tutorial about landscape mode, but I'm just going to increase the size of it so we can get a bit more space. Now the one important thing you're going to pay attention to here is our material. Now, our material right now is this. This is not snow, okay? This is some grass. We don't want grass, we want snow. It's a winter wonderland. And if you look through here, there is kind of nothing. There's no snowy biome in here. But there is a hidden one that you can't get. So basically, there's two ways we can get snowy terrain, okay? One of them is, what we can do is we can right-click, and there's a little thing that'll copy and paste in the description. I have it in the description. You just copy and paste that into here. Once you paste that in, as you can see, we now have Athena terrain ice biome, which is going to be the terrain from chapter 1, I believe, the ice terrain around like frosty flights and whatever. So with this method, if I create it, you're gonna see that we now have the ice biome from chapter 1. So if I grab the sculpt tool and I can just sculpt it up, as you can see, you can now get ice. Isn't that cool? Now we have icy mountains. Now there's one issue with this, is because if you look in here, there's only one layer, which is gravel, and if I were to do that, you can only get like gravel, if that makes sense. You can only get gravel, which is the chapter 1 gravel. So there's not really much customization you can really do. So there's this way you can do it with this landscape, but there's also another way. I just press Ctrl Z to go back, and I'm gonna show you the other way, and that's making your own custom landscape material, which we're gonna use for the snow material. So what we can do is we'll go to content drawer, we'll right click, and then we'll go up to material, and we'll make our new material, and this is going to be our snow. This is our snow material. So we're going to go in here. And now the first step is that we need to get textures. Now, if we go into content drawer and we go to epic and we do snow, we're going to find an issue. There isn't any. There's no textures for snow, which is kind of annoying. So to get some snow texture for our snowy ground, what we can do is you can go on this website called ambientcg.com. Don't worry, this is not sponsored or anything. On this website, you can get tons of really cool materials you can use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find some snow materials. So I'm going to go into materials, and then I'm going to search up snow. And we look at that, we got some cool looking snow materials. Now, chances are they won't be this high fidelity in UEFN, but just as an example, I'm going to grab this one, the very first one. Now what we need is, we're going to now download the 2K. Remember, just make sure you don't download 4K or 8K. And as you can see, if I hover over it, you're going to see the contents of the folder I'm about to download, which is, all the different snow textures, as you can see, the ambient occlusion, the color, displacement, all that. Now, if you don't know what any of that means, I'm just going to tell you in a minute, but I'm going to download this. Then, in your downloads, you want to right-click it, and then you want to extract all, okay? And then you want to extract. Once you've extracted it, you're going to see all the different textures here, and if I go back to UEFN, I'm going to content drawer. I'm going to then make a new folder. It's going to be our snow textures. If I go into here and then I import, if I go back into this folder, I just select everything in this folder by clicking the top and shifting click the bottom, and then press open. As you can see, we now have all these different textures. But what do these textures do? Also, that's not the texture. That is an image of the texture. Just ignore that. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a few things. We're going to need the color. We're going to need the roughness. Now, depending on which thing you want to prioritize, you can either do DX or GL. Now, DX is DirectX, okay? And then GL is OpenGL. Now, these are two different ways your graphic processor will open the texture or read them. But in Fortnite, you use DirectX either 11 or 12. So you want to use DX for your normal. And then, of course, drag in your ambient occlusion, your color, your displacement, and your roughness. Now we have all of these in here. Now, if we don't want any of this to have any blending of layers or anything, we can just put these right into here and it'll work fine. So I'm just going to do that for now. So I'm going to order, where's my color? Color is there, so color goes on top because that's the first. Then we do our roughness. Sometimes you either get a specular map or a roughness map. It doesn't really matter, it's fine. Because the other things will make up for it. But anyways, this is also it's snow, so it's just white. Doesn't really matter. But anyways, so we're going to put our color into basic color. So as you can see, it's going to give our snow color. Then we're going to then get our roughness, and we're going to put that into roughness. And now we have the roughness of our snow. Then we're going to get our normal, and then we're going to put that into normal. And now we have our normal. As you can see, that's going. Basically, what the normal does, it just makes it so it tells the thing how to reflect light. So as you can see, like there's now little bumps, like different areas reflect different amounts of light. As you can see on the edge right there. It doesn't really matter, but anyways, then what we want is our ambient occlusion, and then so we'll put ambient occlusion into ambient occlusion, and then we're going to then put displacement into world position offset. And that should give the snow its like depth, as you can see. So now it should be a little bit bumpy, but we'll see. If I get this and then I grab if I hold M and left click, I can multiply node. And if I multiply this, I can make it more bumpy. So if I make it 50, as you can see, it's very bumpy now. But I'm gonna make it so it's like it's a little bit bumpy. Remember, it's a landscape material, so you don't want your game to explode. The more bumpiness you have, the more it's going to explode because the more it has to render. But anyways, back in our material for our landscape, we're going to now add in our snow material we just made. Actually, I need to save it. There we go. And then I'm gonna add it in. So right here, snow, and now we have our snow. Now this has 0 layers in it, so we can't paint any layers. So if I just create this, so in our paint, as you can see, there are no layers because we don't have any layers. What we do have is a nice snowy landscape. Isn't that cool? So what we can do is we'll just grab our guys and open them up. And if you see how the snow is like really tiny, if you don't want it to be that tiny and like small, we want to add in it's called a landscape layer coordinates. And we're just going to make it so it connects to every single one's UVs. So we're going to hook that into every single UV of every single texture. Once we have this now, in here, we can go to mapping scale. And this is the scale mapping. So we'll just make it slightly, we'll make it so it's slightly bigger. So if it's 0.2, if I go back, as you can see, the scale of it is actually a lot smaller. Okay, I'll make that 1. If I make that 1, let's see what happens. So that's what we had earlier. So if I make this 10 and apply it, it should be a lot. Like, as you can see, the snow texture is now a lot bigger, and you can see the grooves or whatever in it a lot bigger now. So yeah. Now, one big issue with this is that if I go to landscape, and if I manage, or sculpt, I mean, and then if I just make a hill, unlike the texture I showed you earlier, there isn't going to be like ice that appears or whatever, or stone. It's only going to be this, which you might not want because it kind of looks terrible. So if we want to add that rock in that auto generates when we move our thing up, this is how. Back in our thing, sadly, I just had to get rid of all of it. So I'm just gonna break all the links because we don't need that yet. And we're going to use this. We're also going to get in our cotton drawer. We're going to grab some rock. Now you can either get a custom rock, but I'm going to get this rock right here. This one right here. It can be any rock, doesn't even matter. But I'm going to bring in this one because it's a frozen rock cliff. Looks good. Now this is slightly different to here. As you remember, what I said, there's going to be a normal. And there's also a new one here called specular, which is, if you see at the end of the name, it says S, so it's specular. We're going to put that in the middle. And it's going to work slightly differently to how we did it up here. But anyways, what we're going to do is, so this is going to be our top layer, and it's going to be our bottom layer. So we're going to need a new node. It's called set material attributes. We're going to set material attributes right here, and it's going to make this little node right here. Now inside of here now, we have attribute set types, and if we just click this, we're going to get all the different things we need, if you remember. So I'm just going to click this until we got, actually, I'll delete this. I'm just going to click this until we have, I think, I'm going to do this first because it's a bit more complex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 things, so we're going to need 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to need our base color. We're then going to need our roughness. Then we're going to need our normal. Then we're going to need our ambient occlusion. And then finally, we need our world position offset. So these are going to be our, our different things we just did. And we're just going to put it all into here. So we're just going to this, and then this. Perfect. So now we have all of this. Now we're going to do the same thing below here for this material, but it's going to be slightly different because it's a bit less stuff. So what we're going to do is we're just going to delete it, and we're just going to do we just need down to normal. So we're going to get rid of this one, and we're going to replace this with normal. So we have all of these ones now. So we need base color, metallic, specular, and roughness because we have the specular node instead, and we have this now. So we're gonna put our base color into base color. Then the weird thing with metallic, specular, and roughness, you need to put G into metallic, you need to put R or red into specular, and you need to put B into roughness. It's just weird, but that's how it works. I got that from Maestro Shark if you don't know. But anyways, finally our N, it goes to N, and now we have our material attributes all set up. So we just bring these up here together, and these are going to be our 2 set material attributes. Next step is we need something called a blend material attributes. This basically will blend our material attributes. So basically what this will do is it'll make our two layers of our stone on the bottom and our snow on the top. Now A is actually the bottom and B is the top, so we're gonna put our snow into B, and then we're gonna put our stone into the top. So it's going to be, the top is going to be snow and then the bottom is going to be B. As you can see, this isn't doing anything because it's not set up with the alpha yet. And now for the alpha, we need something in particular. If we go into conjure, we need to search up slope mask. And I think actually I need to be in epic for that. And there we go, slope mask, and we'll bring it in. Now with the slope mask, if I right click and then I start previewing node, as you can see, it's going to be a black bottom and a white top. So that's where the snow is going to be, and that's where the thing is going to be, the stone. Now this could work, it's theoretically speaking, but the problem with it is that this snow goes all the way down to a 90-degree angle. So by the time you're there, the landscape is, you can't go below that angle, so you're never going to see the stone no matter how high you make it, because it's always going to be on this angle here. So we have to somehow raise the black up, and to do that, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold one and then left click, and it's going to make a constant node. We're going to plug that into fall off power. As you can see now, it's all white. If I make this so it's maybe 0.2, you can see it's going to be a bit higher. If I make it 5, it's going to be halfway. If I make it 7, it's going to be now slightly above the halfway point. If I make it 8, it's going to be slightly more above. The 9 is going to be up there. And then if I make this so it's about like 1, you can see it's getting better. 2, it's up there now. 3, it's all the way up there. So I think I'm gonna go 2 because that looks about right. And you can make this number higher if you want it a bit more finer. Now with this made, if I right click this and I go into start previewing node, as you can see now, you can now see we have our landscape and we also have our snow on the top. As you can see, the snow is a bit goofy on the side because of the way it's the material is turning, if that makes sense, but that won't be there. Don't worry about that. But anyways, I don't think it will. If that's still there, just get rid of the whatever it's called, this guy, the displacement. Just get rid of that guy. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. But anyways, so here we have our new snow material. Now there's a few other things we could do. If I make another constant and go to contrast, as you can see, the little blend zone. The more bigger number I make this, the more finer it's going to be. So 10 is going to be like pretty together, and that's going to be like, I said 10, I think 1. So 5 is going to be there, 10, like the more bigger you make this, the more tighter it gets. As you can see, if I put it as 50, it's basically going to be a straight line. So you can change this to how you want it to be, but I'm going to make it so it's pretty smooth. So I'm going to make it maybe like 5, actually maybe 2, maybe there, or you can just get rid of it. It looks fine. Now, next step, we need to put it all into here now. Now, we can't just put this into here. It's not going to work, obviously, because as you can see, it's not working. Now, what we need to do is we need to right-click. We need to get something called a landscape layer blend. And in here, we're going to make our layers. And obviously, I can't put anything into here because we need to first make our layers. So we're just going to make a new layer, and this is going to be snow. So now we have this. I'm just going to put it into layer snow. There we go. Perfect. Now again, we can't just put this into here and make it work. So last thing we need to do is we need to do something called get material attributes. We're going to get the material attributes. We're going to plug that into there. And then in here, we're just going to do base color. We're going to go down. I think we need this much, maybe about that much. So we're going to grab our ambient occlusion, and then we're going to also grab our warp position offset. We're just going to get rid of emissive color and trust be. There we go. This is all we need, and then we're going to put our base color into base color, our metallic into metallic into metallic, specular into specular, roughness into roughness. Sorry, I forgot normal. I need normal. There we go. So we'll put our normal into normal, our ambient occlusion into ambient occlusion, and our warp position offset into our warp position offset. And now if I stop previewing this, as you can see, it's now still going to be black, but don't worry about that. Okay. Now, okay, we have all of these beautiful snow layer now, okay? But I just want to add in one more layer that we can use. That's going to be a layer for our let's add some dirt. Let's make some mud so we can have some muddy places. So in our contour, what we can do is we'll grab some mud, a mud texture. There'll be something good here. Cove ground dirt. We'll use that. And we'll get all 3 and then we'll add it in. And now what we need to do, it's not that hard, don't worry. We just have to kind of do what we did up here, but again, if that makes sense. So we're going to grab this right here, or then we're going to grab both of these, or then going to grab what we did here, and then we're going to just copy and paste it and move it down here. And then I'm gonna grab all this, and this is gonna be our cove. Now again, we're just gonna put that. Actually, wait, hold on. I'm gonna copy and paste this one because that's the right one we need. I'm gonna delete this one. I'll plug that into B. Then in here, we're gonna put base color there. We're gonna put G into metallic, R into specular, B into roughness, and then finally our. Oh wait, I'm stupid. That's a normal, isn't it? Yeah, it's a normal. Normal into normal, G into metallic, R into specular, and then roughness into roughness. There we go. And now we have essentially a new layer we just made. So if I preview this node now, as you can see, we now have the same thing we'd made earlier, but it's, you know, muddy, I guess. So what we can do is, we go back over to here, I'm going to stop previewing, and we basically have this, the same thing we made over here, but again. So what we can do is we need to make a new layer. I'm going to make a new layer, and it's going to be our mud. So we're going to call this mud. Then we're going to put it into layer mud. So now we have a new layer that's called layer mud. So we have 2 layers in our landscape. Pretty cool. And you can also add just add as many layers as you want. I don't know if there's a limit, but there might be a limit. But anyways, the final thing you might want to do is you want to add in landscape layer coordinates just for this end down here, so just to make that look also good, because it might be a bit wrong. So I'm just gonna put that into our UVs, so it looks somewhat the same. It might be too big. You can change it to whatever you want. If you want to be smarter about this, just make 1 per layer, so you can change it individually. I just put it all into one. Anyways, apply this, we're going to save it, and now if we go back out, as you can see, our landscape is going to look like this. It's going to be black. Now, that's because we still need to set up our layers. So once you're here, you're going to go to paint, and then in here, what you want to do is you want to create layers from assigned materials. Once you click on this, as you can see, now we have snow and we have mud. I mean, those are 2 layers we just made. Oh yeah, and this is just me from the future, okay? Later in this video, I run into this issue where if I put layers down, this issue where your layers are like don't have a layer, or your layers like they blend together, they can't see them. It's because of how the layer is set up. What you want to do is, the problem is with the snow, since I called it snow, it auto snow layer info, which is what we don't want. So if you go back into your material, snow, what you want to do is you just want to just rename the layer to anything else. So snow 1 or something. So it doesn't inherit what it is. And then you want to apply it. And back in here, what you want to do is you just want to delete both of these layers. And then you want to make you just want to create new layers. And as you can see, the mud layer is going to become the mud layer we made earlier, and then snow 1 is going to be different. So we're just going to create layer info, and we want to make a weight blended layer. So we're going to call this snow layer, and it's going to go into this folder called shared assets or winter wonderland shared assets. Doesn't matter. And in here, this is where we find our snow layer. Now, same thing with mud. Problem is the mud kind of auto did its thing. So we just delete it. Let me just do this one more time. Actually, I'm gonna change mud as well, because mud's also auto joining something. I'm gonna call that mud 2 now. It's fine, it doesn't matter. And I'm gonna create new layers, and what we want is 2 custom layers. So we already have 1, so we just want to make another one. Wait, by the layer, and this is gonna be for mud, and this is our mud layer info. And as you can see now, it's gonna auto, go everywhere, if that makes sense. Then what you want to do is you want it to then, if you see the snow, you can just paint snow. Perfect. And now the blending of the layers should actually work now, okay? Because when I go in the game later, they don't work, and this is how you fix it. So just to let you know. And then also to add on to this is if you want to actually change if you're walking onto the snow, it sounds a bit like grass, so it doesn't even sound like snow. If you want to change it to snow, you want to click inside the snow layer info in the shared assets, and you want to go to physical material, and you just want to change that to snow. Now it sounds like snow when you walk on it. And then mud will sound like the mud or whatever you want. That's how you do it. Okay, now if you were in 1.0, you would have just skipped to this point. But if you just want to know how to make like landscape, but in 1.0, you want to use something called, you can find these galleries, the Modular Rock Mountain. And then what we want is the sorry, not the Modular Rock Mountain, just the Modular Rock. And we're going to grab the snowy versions. So what we want is the light rock, and we're going to just bring out all of these galleries. You'll see them in there, and here they all are. These are all the galleries for all the rocks we might want to use. I think I might have. So if you didn't know, these rocks, they're slightly different. Even though these galleries look the same, they're slightly different. If I click on these and I look in my outliner, as you can see, these are build. And if I click on these ones, these aren't build. This is because these ones support building, and you can build on them, while these ones they don't support building. So just be careful on what rocks you use in your level, because depending on which one you use, you can accidentally not be able to build. So just be careful. And you can tell which one's which because of the name. It says buildable in it, so just so you know. And to actually make terrain in 1.0, if you don't have a landscape, what you can do is you'll just grab one of these, and you just grab one of these, and you just make a big one. Just make it bigger. I think this is like the max size you can make it or something. And you just want to place them around like this, and it'll make like, you know, a landscape. And you can like make little hills. Of course, you can add grass in here if you want, or whatever. But if you're in 1.0, this would be the way you make landscape. And then if I add in, it's got this mountain, so this little stick. I flip it over. Now we have a little hill. I just make it bigger. Oh, look at that! Voila! Now this is very rough, okay? But you know, just to tell you, if you want to make mountains in 1.0, this will be the way to go. So you're like, oh wow, a mountain. So obviously you can fit it with all these different props, all these different rocks, but I'm just going to show you how you can use these modular rocks to expand upon the terrain. Because this is one of the cardinal sins I always see people do, is they make a landscape, but they just use the landscape. They don't add any modular rocks or anything to it. So it just looks kind of bland, if that makes sense. Because the modular rocks can really add a lot of depth and like to whatever to your landscape. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of this dirt because it looks goofy. Now, for some reason, I remember you can hold shift and then you can click and now remove a layer, but I don't know what happened to it. So you can just paint over it with the snow. Doesn't really matter. There we go. It's back. So once we have this amazing landscape I just made, we're going to now go into our sculpts and we're just going to make a few hills. Now I'm planning, what I want to do is we're going to make a, I know this video is kind of boring so far. All I did was make a material, but this is the fun part. This is where we actually get to do making stuff. So I'm gonna make a few mountains, and we're gonna make them up here. Look pretty cool. We're gonna get some mountains in, you know, and we're gonna make this entire area a winter wonderland. Now I'm thinking Coulter from Red Dead Redemption 2. You ever played that game? If you ever played it, you know what I mean. But anyways, so what we're gonna do is what I think I'm gonna do is, now we have these mountains. Now they look a bit barren because they don't look particularly that good. Also, if you see this texture, it's kind of repeating a lot. And to fix that, you just want to go to Hunt Drawer. You want to go find our texture we just made, or material, not texture, and go into here, find where our rock is, which is, I think this one. We'll just make it so bigger. So sorry, no, 20. If I make that 20, it should be less repetitive looking. Wait for it. There we go. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's all right. Anyways, let me just keep on going. You can use smooth to smooth out the terrain. You know how it goes. Now these cliffs, they look barren right now, but I'm going to actually, I'm gonna make them look better by using flatten. And basically what flatten is if I click anywhere, it's gonna flatten the area, as you can see, like that. Now, a good thing with this, you can make a cool like indents in the cliff face. So if I make the size smaller, I can do this, and if I just make the tool strength, maybe make the brush a bit bigger, I can now make like little like platforms in the cliff, as you can see, like this. Now we have a little like thing going on. So if I just keep doing this, you can make a little like mountain. That's gonna be like a cliff face, and I wanna. Now, on this, we're gonna add rocks to it, by the way. So it's not gonna look like this, okay? There's gonna be rocks on it, but this is just the basic outline we're gonna make for it. I think that's pretty good. I'm just gonna forget about this cliff face. So here we go. This is a little mountain. It looks pretty decent so far, but you know, it's just getting there. It's getting there. Now, what I also want to add in is a little lake, a frozen lake. I actually add in a frozen lake. I'm gonna go into selection mode. Then we're gonna go Hunt Drawer, and I'm gonna add a device called the water device, and it's gonna be called the water device. There we go. We grab the water device. Here we go. And we're just going to make a little pond. Now you could use a what's it called? You know, a lake for this. It's just a built-in lake function for landscapes. But this is going to be more prop based, so I'm just going to keep it like this. So I'm just going to Then make it so it's always, so we can always see the water. And I'm gonna put it right there. Okay, this is gonna be our water. And then I'm just gonna get the landscape again, and then I'm just gonna flatten the area around the lake so I can make it so it's not that big. I can make it so it's you know, hidden for the most part. But get this lake in. I can add little cool things like a little island. I'll do this. There we go. Now, obviously, this lake wouldn't just be water. It's gonna be frozen because, you know, we're in the middle of a winter wonderland. So now this lake, we're gonna have to grab the mud, and we're just going to make it so that underneath the lake, it's going to be muddy, because that's how, you know, lakes work. They're not gonna be like, there's not gonna be snow underneath it, or underneath the water, if that makes sense, because it really makes no sense. So we're just gonna carefully just make some mud underneath. Make a little cove if you want. There we go. Look at this beautiful lake we just made. Okay, wait, hold on. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. It's getting there though. All right, here we go. This is gonna be our lake. Obviously, we don't want our guys to be in it because they're gonna, you know, die. But we'll spawn them over here. Now, just keep in mind, remember that because this is gonna be the scale for the players, so they're gonna see that. So, and the lake, I think what I might do with the water is actually I need more mud. Okay, this lake is coming together. You know, this will do. This is a lake. This is good. So yeah, there we go. So now, obviously, if we're in a frozen wonderland or whatever, winter wonderland, the lake isn't going to be just like this. It's going to be frozen. So if you want to grab some ice, there's some really good ice props in Fortnite. But a good one you can use, if you search a primitive, and you find these ones, and you grab one of these, like this circle right here, you can use this for ice. If that makes sense. If you make it so the color is color 8. So now we have this ice, and we just make it bigger. You look at that, we now have ice. So I just put that in our, like on our water like this. You know how ice usually is. You can now have a frozen lake. Ooh. But obviously, don't make it all frozen, and you want to make it a bit more, like, you know, not like. If you grab like a square instead, and make that 8. I do this, like you make cracks or whatever if you want. It's a bit better because it's a lot more like icy. If you see that there's a little lip, I might, which was the, I might click this, I'm gonna grab this little thing right here, I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna go into our other one, and we're gonna paste it into there, and it's gonna put it perfectly on it. So, okay, it didn't put it perfectly on it, because the size is different, but doesn't matter. Anyways, I'm gonna put that right above the water, so you can walk on it, because it's ice. And we're just going to put this around the little place. So you can see it, you know, it's getting there, Got some ice going. If I add like a, you know, a little island, an Iceland, and then we'll do this, or do like something like that. Don't want to make it like rectangular because it's still ice, but ice shatters in a way that makes it kind of like, you know, like it's not circular. If that makes sense. So you don't want to make it too circular, but at the same time you don't want to make it too like rectangular. So yeah, I think this is decent. But you can see I've added some like little islands, some ice floating around a bit, and these little like pockets, little cracks in the ice towards the shoreline, like around here, down here, and it goes up that way. Some things like that. Looks pretty cool, right? So yeah, pretty cool frozen lake. I think this video is getting quite long, you know, the holiday special, so it might be an hour long. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, next step is I kind of want to make a little cabin because, you know, it's Christmas. So what I'm gonna do is it's literally just gonna be a cabin. It's not gonna be crazy. So we'll make a little mountain of snow going down to the river, like so. So it's a little bit more of a slope. Then what we can do here, but this is slightly higher, so I'm gonna go up to here, and I'm gonna flatten at this point. That's where our cabin is going to be. I'm just gonna smooth out the edges of it. There we go. So this little hill right here is where our cabin is gonna go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a cabin. So we're gonna grab our cabin, a cabin gallery, I guess. Doesn't really matter. I could be lazy and just use a prefab, but I'm not lazy, so I'm not gonna do that, I swear. So we're going to grab the cabin prop gallery. It's literally, I'm gonna grab a door. This, our roof is going to be, it's going to be a 1. It's literally going to be a small little cabin. It's not even that big. With that, this cabin floor. Actually, I think I might make it slightly bigger. Then I'm going to need an end, because that's how cabins work. That's fine. I'll just use these for now. I'm going to use these little pieces, and I'm just going to make it so you can use grid snap. I'm just going to do willy-nilly. So I'm just going to, there we go. Here's our first cabin. Our cabin wall. I hate that wallpaper. It looks horrible, so I'm gonna change that. Actually, no, it's kind of Christmassy. I kind of like it. We're gonna get a better wall. I'm gonna grab a log cabin wall with the right texture, but who cares? I'm gonna flip that. I'll line it up. There we go. Then, if you want to get the texture of this wall, just scroll down till you find this, which is the manipulation wallpaper. If you copy this, go back into this one and scroll down. Or, I'm sorry, scroll up, I guess. You want to right-click where this is, and now we have Or we want to paste that into here, and now we have the same wallpaper on the wall. Cool little UEFN thing you can do. Head to that in 1.0. We're gonna get this roof. Actually, no, I'm gonna get like a curved roof. It'll look better, like this kind of roof. There we go. So grab this, put that there. Just copy it, move it over here. There we go. Got our roof. Then this is gonna be our little cabin. Looks good. Then inside our cabin, what we can do is we're gonna add in a chimney because it's Christmas. I'm gonna give a fireplace. So that's probably what we need. This fireplace will do. It's old-fashioned, but it's a cabin. Actually, I kind of want it to be on. Is there an on version? No. Actually, I'll use. Is this one on? That is on, so I'll use this one instead. Now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna fix that whatever that's happening there, and then now we have our fireplace. We need a chimney. We might grab this one and grab this one. I believe those are the same colors. Should be maybe these two. There we go. I might just go the texture for this and put it under here. Should work. There we go. And now if I just grab this and make it a bit wider and put it back here, bring that out. We now have a chimney. Oh boy! And I think I might move that to the side, like over here somewhere. There we go. So now our house has a little chimney on it. Pretty cool. Actually, before I actually place all the stuff inside, I'm gonna move this place to where it needs to be, which is going to be. I'm gonna select everything in here about here or so. There we go. Now we have our little cabin. Now inside our cabin. Okay, so now find the Christmas tree because we're obviously gonna need a Christmas tree. And we're gonna switch up holiday tree. It's not called Christmas tree, it's called holiday tree. But anyways, now we're gonna grab a normal one because that's the normal size. Now, would you look at that? It has a beautiful Christmas tree. Oh boy! And we'll put that right there. No, this is Christmas. Then just make sure it's not going at the wall. There we go. Then what we can also do with this Christmas tree is grab a pot because you know, not a pot. I don't really care. It doesn't have to be anything. I just want to put in something because it's kind of just sticking up the ground. Like this. Honey pots. Sure, that works. I believe this is in the Weeping Woods gallery if you want to find it. Oh, and by the way, if you want to find the Christmas tree, if I do Control B, as you can see, if I go on the props, this is from Happy Hamlet Gallery. So this, if you're 1.0, look for the Happy Hamlet Gallery and you can find this tree. Anyways, there we go. Perfect. Oh boy, look at that Christmas tree. It's so beautiful. Now, obviously, it's Christmas, so we're going to need... I might grab a carpet. Carpet? Never mind. I need to get out of this gallery. I'll grab a carpet or a rug. We're gonna use a rug. It's Christmas, so any circular ones look good. Nah, not really. We're gonna grab this Glacier Hotel one. Looks nice. Looks nice and Christmassy. We're just gonna place it right here. I'm just gonna leave that in there. And down here, we're gonna then grab an Xmas. We're gonna set up Xmas, and we're gonna find presents. If you want to find these presents, you want to do Control B, and it's in the Seasonal Winter Gallery. If you're in 1.0, we're gonna grab all these presents. Oh boy. Isn't this exciting? So many presents to be had. We'll just put them under the tree. You know, it's Christmas. I can't wait for presents. Oh boy, surely Santa's real, right? There's a bunch of other things we can do. I might add a deer here because why not? Deer there. Let's get some interior decorating in here, right? We're gonna need a couch, obviously, because it's a cabin. So then we go up here, grab couch. I Maybe suburban couch too. There we go. I'm using Christmassy. A lamp. Maybe a standing lamp like this. There we go. Maybe in the corner. Now, just to let you know, this tree is going to be playing music. So if you look here, Winterfest Holiday Tree Music Loop in the components, this is the music. Now, if you just don't want to hear it, just make the volume multiplier 0 and you won't be able to hear it. But if you want to hear it, you can do that. And you can also change the pitch. You can also change the whatever, the attenuation. You can add in your own attenuation in here, or whatever you want. So I'm just gonna give you a disclaimer, okay? This music tree loop, they changed it to the Mariah Carey music because they're doing the collab. It used to be a different music, so I'm just gonna leave this off because I'm gonna get a copyright strike probably if I play it. I don't know, maybe, but anyways, I'm just gonna get that off. Then in our beautiful Christmas, we wanted some wreath because you know it's Christmas wreath. I'm gonna grab a wreath and we can put it outside right here. Oh boy, I love Christmas. There we go. Put our wreath outside the door, ready to be hung for the winter season, I guess. Okay, you can't put it on the door, otherwise it's gonna, you know, it's gonna block the players. But I might put one on this guy too because I feel like it. Oh boy, look how Christmassy it is. That works. Might make it shrink a little bit down here. There we go, perfect. And then. Now another thing is that outside this cabin, this roof, it's kind of, it's gonna be snowing, but there's no snow on the roof. Now let's say if you wanted to put snow on this roof, how would we do that, okay? Because I kind of want it to be nice and snowy. Well, there's a cool way, okay? We're gonna call it a drawer. We're gonna find a device called the decal device. And the decal is just a way you can put stuff on. So we're gonna go into here. The material we want to put our master in, we're gonna right click, we're gonna make a new material. This is gonna be our snow for decal. Don't worry, this is literally going to be the simplest material you've ever seen in your life. You're just going to hold 3 and click. Get this. You want to make this so it's white. There we go, easy. I'm gonna put that in the base color. I'm gonna apply. Now we have a snow, so we're just gonna get snow decal. There we go. And as you're gonna see, it's gonna go goofy. That's because we need to use the deferred material decal material domain. So we need to go into here, click on here, and I'm gonna go into here and do deferred decal. We're going to make it translucent, and then we're going to get the opacity, and the opacity is controlled by the device, so we're just not going to add opacity. And now we have, as you can see, we have a little snowy thing. Now just be careful in the zone because it can go through the thing. So you want to place it perfectly where it's only hitting the roof, like this, on like this angle. Makes sense? Then we're going to make the decal distance, sorry, we're just going to increase the size of the device down, so we can cover the roof. And this will add a little bit of snow onto our roof. Pretty cool, right? There we go. And just be careful. Obviously, put it too low, it's going to look like that, and you don't want that. So just maybe curve it up a little bit so you don't have that. So that's actually from the other one. Then just like that. But keep it so you can still, like, you know, get the snow on the roof. It's kind of finicky, but if you get it right, it looks cool. There we go. We just move this forward and put it down. There we go. Now we have the front of the roof now all nice and decaled up. We'll just copy this and move it onto the other side, ignoring the chimney. We'll just fix that in a minute. We'll put that right there. Then I'm just going to just put that right there. Make sure there isn't any stuff going inside the thing. You don't want that. Then for the chimney, it's a bit annoying. We're gonna have to work around it, but if we just make it so the height is smaller, it's one of these. I think it's green. There we go. I just move it down. We should be able to just fit it right in there, and then that works. There we go. So now we have a, you know, a nice little snowy roof for our cabin. Actually, we're gonna add some icicles because, you know, it's freezing out. So there's gonna be some icicles on top, on the cabin. Makes sense, right? Make these as big as you want. Like this, make them a bit smaller. Flip them around for variety. We've got some icicles. Now we'll just grab a snowman. That snowman outside. Oh boy, that's exciting. That's ginormous. There we go. I got our beautiful snowman. The next one we can grab is maybe a candy cane. I'll make a little path covered with candy canes. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in a little path. So we can either do a landscape paint or we can do something like this. As you can see, it's a bit blocky because I made the landscape a bit bigger, so it's not gonna look perfect. But one way we can fix this actually to make it a little bit more realistic is what you can do is, I think I might turn it like this. There we go. Well, that's gonna be the path inside. And then I'm gonna move one of these guys over to here. There we go. It's in there. And then what we can do is Again, with the decal device, we can use it again, but we're going to do something slightly differently, where in the decal mask, we're just going to get rid of this, and we're going to use the decal mask to, sorry, wait. We're still going to use this, but we're going to use the decal mask. Now, basically what we do with this is we'll use UI. We just want to find, so like this, like ash, like this thing, like a little ash texture. If you reset this back to normal by pressing the little button right there, you get the M decal master or whatever it's called. Oh, it has to go like that. I can't remember now. So make it so it's like this. I'm going to use this decal to add in some variation in the snow. As you can see, like that. It's slightly different color, but you can fix that if you really do not like it. But I don't really care. And it'll just get rid of some of the blurriness and some of the blockiness in the landscape. So it makes it look a bit better. You know what I mean? So now we have slightly better path. Looks slightly better. Be careful where you put it. So here we go. As you can see, our path looks a bit better now. Looks a bit more like a path that's kind of snowed over. I'm just gonna move this. Now our path is a bit better looking. I might just make it so it's a bit more defined here though. Like so. There we go. So we have a little path going into our house. And now we're gonna grab a fence. Now you can put decals all over everything if you want everything to be snowed on. I do not have the time for that, so I'm just going to just make a bunch of fences. So yeah, this is gonna be our fences for the house. There we go. They're floating, so I gotta make sure they don't float. So we have this nice little ice lake down here. Now we have our little cabin. If you saw Christmas, you can find the Big Bush Christmas. It has all the lights in it, which looks kind of cool. But the problem is it isn't snowy. So if I grab a Big Bush Winter or Snow or whatever it's called, I can now put like the same bush inside of it, the same bush. So it still looks kind of wintry, I guess. You know what I mean? So grab both of those and we'll just put them in the ground and size them up. Now we have a nice little, like a front garden that's all like been lit up with lights. Then what we can do? Then inside the house, we might add I believe there's a buffet. We can grab a buffet. Here we go. This right here, the roast banquet, whatever it's called. We'll use this. Then we'll grab a table. This will do. We have our dining table. Then we'll have our ham. It's kind of no bed in here, but now who cares? It's Christmas. Sleep on the couch. It also works. That shall do. Then get a chair. I don't know. This is this many. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I don't want to make it too crowded, so I'm not gonna add all like a bunch of chairs, but no, that should be good. And then what we can do is I mean, we need a bed in here, but you know, who cares? Who cares? It doesn't really matter. We'll add a candle because it's Christmas. There we go. Maybe above the fireplace, actually. Nice candle. Then we'll grab some cookies for Santa, I guess, maroons or whatever. Then that should be good. This place looks nice and cozy. There's still some work to be done, but you kind of get the gist of it. Just make it look Christmassy. Outside, I think I might add that prop. It's a reindeer. I'm gonna grab these llama lawn ornaments. I'll put them on the roof. They look like that because of the decal. If I just move that like see now, I kind of like it. I want to put a few of these llamas on the roof. So that's Christmas. Now, I think the decor for this house is kind of done. I got the frozen lake. I got the everything really. So last thing that's kind of we have to do is the background of the mountains and the foliage. And then I think we should be good, I guess. I prefer going in game and doing the foliage and the mountain sides in 1.0. It just comes more naturally to me. I think it's faster. It's more fun. So here I'm in game, and just for some reason the layers are not working. I don't know why. Here's our beautiful, beautiful lodge we've made. Walk across. Oh boy, go inside. Look at that. So we have our beautiful snowy Wonderland house. So next step is we're going to make all the mountains, as I said, and we're going to need where are they? These props. So I'm gonna grab I think I'm gonna grab these props and I'm gonna just make the cliff. That makes sense. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna make the cliff. Okay, I'm gonna make a nice cliff. You rotate it and you put it inside the cliff. Oh my god. Remember, all of this is going to be probably covered by trees, so it's gonna look pretty decent. But anyways, I know it's been quite a while since I've done a terrain tutorial. It's probably been like a few months, probably like 8 months or something like that. So I thought for Christmas, why don't I go back to my roots and make a terrain tutorial? So, or like like a Winter Wonderland thing for Christmas. Well, this is getting there. This is getting there. Just to keep in mind, I'm not gonna focus on the behind bit. I don't really care about it. I just want to get this face done. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna also add in this prop right here, because I've only been adding in the cliff prop. This prop's also really good. I'm gonna make it little like ridges. That makes sense. Yeah, I think that looks good. We got some cool looking mountains now. Pretty big, pretty big. So what we can do next is we'll add in, I think, actually, let's just cover this. There we go. That should be good. So we got some cool looking mountains. And what we can do next is we're gonna add some rocks in the snow down here. Just add a bit more variety. Now we have this. This is looking better. And now I might grab smaller versions of rocks. So I might grab the... I'm gonna grab this one right here, and I'm gonna just make it smaller. But I'll rotate it, and this is gonna be more towards the bottom where the landscape meets the landscape, or the rocks meet the landscape. Like here. I think these rocks are done. You can tweak them if you want, but I think this looks pretty good. And now next step, it's not final step, but next step we need foliage. So we're gonna need some bushes, so we're gonna use these winter bushes. Then we're going to need a tree, and we're gonna grab the, I think the chapter 2 pine looks the best. This one, dark pine, and pine tree large, I guess. Those are good. Maybe that's a bit too big. Oops. There we go. So here's two different trees we can use. There's a bush, and if you go back in game, you should see them. That tree looks way bigger on the outside. I think I might just use this tree. Make it simple. And what we're just gonna do is place trees around. Make sure to make the size different, so you keep changing the size around each time you place it, so it's not the same, and it'll add some variation, look nice. This little trick, if you get higher up, make the trees smaller and smaller, so you get the illusion of distance. That makes sense. So you can see, like, that looks further away. Obviously, this tree's a bit too big, and it gets further and further the more you get up. That makes sense. I think trees are done now. What do you look at that? We have a bunch of beautiful trees on the ground. As you can see, we now have trees everywhere. Looks kind of nice. Now, last thing for the foliage, we just need a bunch of bushes. So we just place a bunch of bushes around the place. This is looking pretty good. We got like we got a bunch of, you know, snowy areas. We got some like a nice little lake. We got our cabin over here. It's nice and warm, I guess, in the cold winter nights. Now, next step is we need to change the sky dome or the day sequence device to make it look more wintry and mountainy, I guess. And we're gonna add in snow because obviously you need snow falling. Okay, I'm back in UEFN, and what we want to do to get snow, we want to add in a VFX device, VFX spawner, right here. We want to use this, and then we'll add that in. Now, this device, it has an option in it called snow down here. If you scroll down, here it is. It's around here somewhere. I've lost it. Snow. There it is, snow right here. And this basically will now add snow to our map, as you can see. Now, it doesn't just affect this area, it affects the entire island. Just keep that in mind. So if I go out, as you can see now, it's going to be snowing. Isn't that cool? There's going to be snow falling, and it's winter now. Ooh. Now, with this snow, you can make it different intensities. So you can make it 1, you can make it, like, you know, a lot less, so it's a lot more lighter snow. Or you can make it so it's 2, and it's, like, really, like, intense. So this is 2, let's not some more snow, if that makes sense. Now we have our snow, okay. And just like, you know, if you have snow, what you can do is you can enable and disable it using these if you don't want snow on your map or whatever. So that's how you get snow. And then finally, we're just going to want to make our day sequence device. So we're going to add in a day sequence device. I'm thinking we're going to make it like sunset time. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe nighttime, maybe daytime. I have no idea. We're going to make it fixed time. And we're just going to... Now, the problem with this device right now is that the sun rotation placement is a bit buggy. And kind of breaks a bit. I don't know why, but it happens. So I'm going to put it right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to just make it so sunlight, we'll look at the same. We just want to add fog. So we're going to make the fog component on. And we're going to increase the density of the fog. And as you can see, that's going to make it very, very wintry. Then we're going to the fall off of the fog. Sunlight volumetric scattering. If I make this bigger, sorry. If I make this more intense fog, as you can see, you can't really, the sun's kind of making everything kind of go a little bit like that. So we can turn down the volumetric scattering. Would you look at that? It's now slightly better. You can actually kind of see. As you can see, now we have a cool little looking winter wonderland. Ooh. I think I might rotate this way. No. Now what we can do is where's our day sequence device? I've lost it. What we can also do is skylight. You can also change the skylight if you want. If it gets too dark with lumen. Sky. Oh yeah, the clouds. And then if I make the clouds coverage all, as it's like snowing, and then I make it so the direction is one direction, and then opacity bigger or smaller, doesn't really matter. I just want the sun to kind of go through it. There we go. So I think this looks good. If you want to make a little snowy, like snowy wonderland. So I think this looks good for the little winter wonderland for daytime. So yeah, pretty cool. But I also kind of want to make nighttime, so let's make a nighttime one. If I find the day sequence device, should be, if I grab this, I want to make the daytime nighttime. Now with the moon, we can do this. Now it's nighttime. This looks pretty cool. And what we could also do is, a nice little touch. We can find the atmospheric aesthetic Aurora, and we can add some Aurora Borealis to our map. Isn't that cool? So we add this, we'll grab it in here, make it a bit bigger. Now we got the Aurora. Isn't that cool? So it looks really wintry. There we go. Now I think in real life you can't see the Aurora when the moon is out, but who cares? But anyways, yeah, there we go. Cool looking little Aurora. Look at that. Wow, we got our ice lake. If I go in game, if I just push my changes. So now if I just cop back in game, would you look at this? Now we have nighttime. Ooh. The house, as you can see, the interior, it's not really lit up. What I might add to the window is I'm gonna add a light. Just a light, you know, just to make it look nice. Light device. Actually, I'll do a point light. Let's think. If I go find lights, and I'm gonna grab a point light. This is gonna be a little light in the house, and we're gonna use lumen so it can spread around. It'll look cool. Make it pretty light. I'll put one on the fireplace. Make it look good. And then I'll put another light probably on the roof, and like a little chandelier. Those chandelier, grab our light, put it on here. And now with this, now if you look outside, it's not gonna be glowing. So you can now see the little lights coming out the house. It's pretty cool. Let me walk inside my little winter cabin. Oh boy, look how beautiful it looks. And here we are. So yeah, nice little Christmas cabin. Pretty cool. Go inside, you can have all the festive treats, eat the hams, sit down on the couch. I might add you can add a chair device, you can sit down. Oh, nice and warm fire by something the Christmas tree. Surely not a fire hazard. But anyways, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. That's the video for the making of Winter Wonderland. So again, it's been quite a while since I've made a landscape tutorial or whatever. So I thought I was like, oh, for Christmas, I might as well do a winter one. So yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, subscribe, use my code in the Fortnite Am shop. Thank you to all the members of the channel. And before I say watch these videos, I just gotta say that I'm going to be taking a break over Christmas because I need to, you know, it's Christmas, all right. So I might not be uploading as much. I'll upload any emergency videos if there's any big news, but I won't be really uploading that much until maybe the new year. And also DREAMLANDS, I'll also be working on DREAMLANDS over Christmas too, so I can get that done either by the end of December or into January maybe. I don't know yet, but we'll see. So yeah, anyways, watch all these videos for more of my tutorials. That's about it. I'll see you all around.